What's going on, folks? So, another day of squatting. Back in the gym, probably early afternoon today. Gotta run some errands, gotta do some stuff, so was able to get it in earlier in the day, which is, usually when I'm getting to the gym. It's been a little bit of a push, just coaching sessions, different projects I got going on. Making sure I'm getting enough sleep and paying attention to the metrics that matter. It is what you make of it. And so was able to get it in today and was happy with what wound up happening. I didn't catch my full warm-up, but forgot to press the record button on the phone. But here's my first set with any weight on it. And you saw before this, I was doing some rollouts on my hamstring. Last night I did the Nordic curls, and my left hamstring was feeling a little lively, I guess you could say. So just gave it some extra attention. Still not with the knee wraps on. I really don't put them on until I've already started moving. I do my wake up, and then I sort of preserve the integrity of the knee with a little bit of compression, a little bit of heat with the sleeves. But the fact that I'm still, doing these knee raises here, I'm still just waiting for that body to wake up. I was asked by one of my coaching students, what the point is of the squatting every day. And, he had made the guess that it was just me looking to find a ritual that I could sort of comply to, and because it's convenient and easy, it'll add to my level of compliance to it. And you know what? There's a lot of truth in that. There's a lot of that argument to be made. It's something that is very easy to do, and so I will do it. But it's more than that. The bigger scale mission and goal here, as I'm doing this, is if you ask yourself, do you want to be stronger? Yeah. And a lot of people know that, having more strength is something that, for the most part, they could say yes to. But when you start going down the rabbit hole of what that starts to look like, I think too often people deviate from what their original intent was, and not always for the right reasons. I'm somebody who, I want to be strong, but I want to be strong every day. And now, a little caveat, this is not saying that, peaking for a powerlifting show, which I have before, or, even some sort of combat sport, which I used to fight professionally. I get all of that, but there's something to be said for, how strong are you every day? And if I'm trying to fill my life with rituals that allow me to sort of maximize not only the development of my body, but my relationship with that development, and in turn with my body, this is what I'm getting at. Right here, I decided to record this, a little bit of a different take on the band exercises that a lot of people use to sort of warm up their rear delts and shoulders prior to, squatting, unintentional nut shot right there. Apologies for that. But I add that little, one at a time, because it just puts the arm and the shoulder through a bigger range of motion. Just decided to add that. Like a lot of people who start squatting heavy, especially as you start getting up there in weight and or, injuries over the years, we tend to grab wider and wider. And it's one of those things where I never want to relent. I never want to just give up on a range of motion. I always want to fight to get it back. And I'll play the long game, but the fight's always gonna happen. So 315, as you see, squat shoes. I have my my starting. No, that's not. What is it? Mark Bell's company, Slingshot. I have my Slingshot sleeves on, and I have my no-name brand lever belt. Still waiting for my Pioneer belt. Still not in the mail. Apparently, ordering belts is like ordering a fucking house being made, and all these things take forever. Back up to 4 plates. Worth noting, this is around, 1 in the afternoon, 1:30, something like that. And a little over 12 hours before, I was squatting in my my home gym. That's another benefit of this, and the proof's in the pudding. Here I am 12, 13 hours later, 4 plates. This is a stretch I sometimes do for the shoulders also. It's actually a full body. Like, I feel everything in that I need for the squat being stretched when I do this. Today in particular, though, just getting those shoulders to work before I get under the weight. But I gotta say, felt pretty good. Felt pretty good. I've commented before that sometimes, things will feel great, and then you look at them on tape, on film, and it looks like you were in a fight that, it just overrepresents what you actually were. Put it this way, I felt good enough on the 405 to go up to 455, and I wouldn't have made that jump if I wasn't feeling good. So decided to get under on this. Now, I spoke before about this squat rack at one of the gyms I go to here, and how I'm sort of like at this tweener height. If I'm wearing flat shoes, it's a pain in the ass to get the weight off, and then after the set to put it back on. But one of the good things about having these squat shoes is it allows me to get it off pretty easily and consistently. Another thing I'm consciously working on is reducing the number of steps to sort of set my footing for the set. I just get a single here, but felt good. Felt good. Wasn't something that was too much of a struggle. I held off there. I am probably going to go a little bit heavier, later on in the week. We'll see how I feel, but didn't need to push it today. Still got a bunch of stuff I needed to do in the gym. So didn't want to waste everything now, but I was happy with that. Wound up going down after this, and with these videos, I'm trying to record what's in what's going on with me in the squat rack, and any other exercises that I could do on the squat rack that happen to be included in what my plan is for the day. If I even have a plan for the day, I try to put on these videos. So I wind up going down, and I will say that one thing I like doing on the squats every day is getting a bunch of reps with good form in, and finding variations that allows me to sort of get that number up of reps. And it's not so much the workload in terms of, creating more volume so I can increase my baseline of strength. There's obviously a benefit and an argument for that. But form is something that I'm very much committed to. And didn't know if I pressed record on the phone, didn't want to miss this. But I wind up going back, and with this 225, I do some pause squats, again allowing the weight and the position to sort of marinate at the bottom, allow that starting strength out of the hole to be as symmetrical and as in line with what I understand good form to be as possible. There was a gentleman earlier in the session prior to me recording who was squatting, and he was descending very, very quickly, and it was causing him to sort of catch the weight at the bottom, and there was a tilt forward after that, and it wound up loading his lower back, more than it should have been. And I was talking to him, and I'm always hesitant about just telling people sort of what to do, but told him, hey, try slowing it down. The fact that I had a bunch of squat gear, I think he listened to me, which is pretty good. So form is key. This is something that I haven't recorded, and it's something that I'm honestly I don't do a lot. And these are the calf raises at the top and the bottom position of the squat. And a couple of different reasons I do this. Number one, because I do, believe in doing calf raises. Not that I think my calves need to be bigger necessarily, but if you're talking about, again, symmetry, teamwork, balance, and how our muscles are developed, maintaining the mobility, we're looking at those weak links, those deficiencies. And this is an exercise that I do every once in a while as a sort of calf movement, right? So if I wasn't doing this here today, I'd be over at a standing calf raise or a seated calf raise or something of that effect. Maybe even getting in the leg press and doing, some variation. But I do like these. At the bottom, I'm really trying to maintain the form of keeping weight on my heels at the bottom of the calf raise movement, right? Always trying to go back. It's something I have to concentrate on because the tendency is to allow those heels to raise sort of like a catcher in baseball. And, I'm not getting a full range of motion if that's happening. So a little bit of a variation. If you guys have ever tried it, feel free to let me know in the comments. I finished up today with a Jefferson curl, and I didn't do it loaded because this is one of those movements that I've used loaded before, and I've also used, and I will say in my defense, I really do not anticipate this shot to look like this on the camera. I probably could have faced the other direction. So again, apologies. But it's something that I really, really love for a movement at the end of the workout also, because it again reminds your hamstrings, your lower back, what a full range of motion is. At the bottom, you'll feel your mid and upper back start to sort of release itself. You'll notice how slowly I'm moving. It's not something that I ever try to add any speed on, even if I'm doing it loaded. And it's not something that, I'll be honest, that I really do loaded a lot. If I am doing it, it's for variety. It's like an accessory mobility movement. But this isn't necessarily something that I'm trying to get super strong in. I think there are a bunch of movements that we want to be strong in because it reflects a balanced strength increase for the body, but not this one. All right, guys. See you tomorrow.